Hello, you beautiful people out there, and welcome to the Banner Gaming's Moose Mount Effect video. My name is Kimo.
And my name is Wisdom. Now, the point of this video is not to just tell you about the moose mount, though we will take a moment to cover the details. Really, what we want to talk about is the effect that taking the moose mount out of the store and giving it to the community has had. Now, for those of you not in the know, it is important to cover some of the little details here. The mount that we refer to as the moose mount, it is technically called the Grove Warden. It is a limited time availability mount, probably until 7.0, though this is yet to be confirmed, and everybody in the raid gets one who successfully kills Heroic Archimond. Now, those out of the way, let's talk about some of the impacts that the moose mount has had.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Ghost Crawler promised a Moose Mount a long time ago. So I don't know if it's something like the Dance Studio where everybody's like super excited when it came true. It's just something that the community's always busted chops about. Like, oh, where's our Moose Mount? Where's our Moose Mount? Just like, where's the Dance Studio? Um, but they finally announced it, and they announced it in an expansion that had a huge lack of content. Okay, well, hey, we're finally getting a moose mount. Great. And then they go, oh, we're going to upgrade the store, and the moose mount is going to be in the store. And everybody, I don't think there was one person that wasn't like, we've got no content this expansion, and you upgrade your store and you put a mount that you've been promising us forever in the store. What the hell, Blizzard? What the hell?
Now, it is quite true that everybody got upset, and I think rightfully so, right? I mean, first off, he goes and promises us a pony. We get our pony. Now he promises us a moose. Now we get our moose. Now, one of the things that I do think is rather interesting, though, is that if we take a look at sort of the trends here between what we've seen between Warlords and Mists, yes, we had equally long draughts of content. Yes, some of the raids were well designed and some of them weren't. And yes, it doesn't seem like we quite got what we paid for in either case. But it's important to note that Mist actually had more store mounts available than Warlords ever has, right? Warlords has really only brought the Mystic Runesaber to the table, yet we saw a handful of different mounts in Mists. Some of those were for charity, but it doesn't change the fact that there were a lot more real money transactions available in Mists than we've seen in Warlords.
With the community being very upset, I think it says a lot on Blizzard's intentions, taking something out of the store and putting it in for heroic Archimond or higher. I mean, they responded to the community. I think it was a good token. It was a token of good faith. Does it, forgive them for everything that's happened? No, but it at least shows that they're, to an extent, they're still listening, which gives me hope for future changes in all aspects of the game. If they didn't listen, then I would be really concerned. I mean, for those who don't know, it got so bad when they announced it. They actually had to turn the comment section off on the web on World of Warcraft's website. They just disabled it, which I don't know if that's ever happened before. I could be wrong, but I know it doesn't happen often, if ever at all.
Well, if we're going to be talking about interesting changes, one of the patterns that people are starting to pick up on here is that although we don't have a lot to go on, there does seem to be a trend of having the last boss of an expansion reward amount upon obtaining the ahead of the curve achievement, right? So in this sense, it's kind of showing that some of the players who just want to raid heroic and the people who are in an ahead of the curve guild, they are getting something that, generally speaking, for quite some time has only been really relegated to the highest top tier difficulty. Whether you're talking about heroic previously or our current mythic raids, they have been the only ones for quite some time to have a guaranteed mount available to them. And on top of that, that's generally speaking available for a limited time. Yes, you can go and get your hands on something like Invincible or the mythic Garrosh mount that drops, right? That Scorpion mount, but it doesn't change the fact that we are sort of seeing a shift in the way that rewards are given out. Now you can get a special mount. I mean, we've never had anything that looks like the moose mount before, even if it does share a skeleton with older models. And now we have the opportunity to get our hands on it for a limited amount of time. And I think that that's going to be an interesting change. As someone who only raids ahead of the curve, that's something I'm excited about. I like seeing that there is something at the end of the tunnel that we can work towards. And I was a little bit surprised, honestly, to see that the ahead of the curve for heroic Archimond didn't reward anything. You know, So I like the direction they're taking it in. I hope that we get something equally special when we go and kill the last boss of Legion.
And on a side note, it's hard. As you know, I'm a go leader. Wisdom's our raid leader. It's hard sometimes to keep the raid going throughout these droughts, and every little bit that Blizzard gives us helps. So another side effect of this Moose Mount is we can sell runs. When we go do our now we're not a Mythic guild, but we're gonna start into Mythic, because there's nothing else to do in Heroic. But now when we go get our ring upgrade, we can sell runs. Like our rings will be maxed out soon, so there won't necessarily be a huge incentive to go. But we can sell runs to other people to get the Moose Mount and spread the gold out evenly or use it for the guild bank. But it gives everybody a reason. Like if we raid 2 nights a week and every Tuesday we sell two of them, you know, maybe by the end of the month, once it's all split up, people can pay for their subscriptions that way. So people who might be on the fence about unsubscribing, if they have a nice, easy way of keeping their subscription going while they feeling like they're not getting a great amount of content, it's really helping us. It means a lot. And I feel like making it heroic level still leaves enough of a market for people who want to buy it because there's a lot of normal raiders and not a ton of heroic raiders. Like the market between supply and demand, I think is good because if it was normal or higher, there really wouldn't be any market for that kind of uh, profit.
And I think you do bring up a good point. I saw a statistic getting thrown around the other day about the previous ahead of the curve mount that we saw in Siege, and I believe only about 25% of the entire player base has that mount currently. So, you look at even though those mounts weren't selling for a tremendously large amount at the end of the expansion, it doesn't change the fact that not everybody's got their hand on that wolf, right? Whether it's the accounts that were made after the fact when it was no longer obtainable or the people who just weren't interested at the time, it doesn't change the fact that you don't have everybody under the sun getting their hands on these things. So there is still a level of exclusivity. Now, into this, there is one organization that we do want to take the time to mention. If you go and Google Friendship Moose, or you go onto Twitter and look up hashtag Friendship Moose, there is currently a group of people who are recruiting high end raiders to offer totally free, goodness of your heart friendship carries to other players who don't either have the time or the means or the skill to go into a raid and commit and be able to kill heroic Archimond in a progression group or in a pickup group environment. So if that's something you're interested in, either as a high-end raider or as somebody who can't get their hands on the moose just under their own power, I would encourage you to look into it. I don't know if they are still taking requests for carries at this time, but I know that this coming January they are looking to get things off the ground and start getting mooses out to the general population.
So in short, I feel like the Moose Mount definitely added some longevity to the game, some reason for players who are already heroic AOTC level to keep playing, and it gave a lot of people faith, some faith. Let's not get carried away that Blizzard is still listening to what they're saying and will make some of the changes in Legion that they want. So all in all, I think this was a positive change by Blizzard. Well, thank you for listening to our video on the Moose Mount effect. If you like our video, please like, comment, and subscribe. If you like our wonderful art, please visit our artist link below. This is Kimo.
And I've been Wisdom. Please tell us down below, what is your favorite mount? Will the moose mount take a place in your heart? I know that it has in mine. Thank you all for watching, and have a good night.
Bye-bye.